Welcome everyone to our 20-minute yoga practice today. Today we're going to be rising with the sun. We're going to be moving through some of the most fundamental movements in Vinyasa and Hatha yoga. We're going to begin seated today. Now if you have two yoga blocks, you may find them useful for today's practice, and if you don't, that's totally fine as well. So go on ahead and find a comfortable seat. You may like to sit on a yoga block, kneeling or cross-legged. And let's just begin by getting nice and centered, placing the palms of your hands down onto your thighs, lengthening your spine up nice and tall, and maybe even closing your eyes or softening your gaze for a few moments. Start to breathe through your nose only if possible, relaxing your face, your jaw, let your shoulders soften. And start to become really present with your breath. Vinyasa means to place in a special way. And I love this word because to me it means we're not only being really mindful about how we're placing our body in space, but also being really mindful about how we place our mind. When it comes to placing our mind in a special way, yoga offers a really wonderful way of getting to know ourselves. And in yoga, we call this svadhyaya, self-study. Noticing how we react and respond when we're challenged, and how we react and respond when we're in flow state. So let's embark on a journey of svadhyaya, self-study together. Let's begin our movement practice today on all fours. So moving any blocks you may have out of your way, placing your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Spread your fingers out nice and wide, and we're going to begin with cat and cow stretch. So rounding your spine, bring your chin into your chest, really push the back up towards the sky, and then bring your belly down towards the floor, gazing forwards, collarbones broaden. See if you can move with your breath here as well. Exhale as you round your spine into this angry cat-shaped position. And then inhale back the other way into your cow stretch. Tucking your toes under as you move into your cat stretch. And then untucking the toes as you move into your cow stretch. Let's do one more round here, one way. And back the other. And then finding a nice flat back position. We spend a lot of time on our hands and wrists in yoga, so let's give them a little bit of extra attention and care. Start to take your chest forward beyond your wrists and then hips towards your heels. So draw some circles here to really lengthen out through the muscles in our forearms. Inhale as you take your chest forward, exhale as it comes back. Let's reverse the direction now. So keep pressing all of your knuckles and the palms of your hands into the mat. Inhale forward, exhale back. Let's do one more circle. And then finding some stillness here. Now, we're going to move into what I call wrist push-ups. And if you need to reduce the pressure on your hands, just simply take more weight back towards your heels. Otherwise, see if you can keep your shoulders above your wrists and start to lift the palms of your hands up off the floor while keeping all 10 fingers connected to the mat, and then dropping your palms back down. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you lower. And as you do this, try to keep the pointy bits of your elbows wrapping back towards your body. Your elbow creases forward, so we want to avoid this action. So just moving up and down through the palms of your hands. This one you might need to practice a little bit. It does get easier over time. Awesome. Now let's turn our fingers to point outwards on the mat and just start to shift your weight from side to side. So once again, a little stretch for your forearms. As we all do these days, spending a lot of time on our devices or driving, you may be tighter in the forearms than you realize. So take it easy here and always do what works for you and your body. And then finally, let's try to turn the fingers all the way back towards you. And just feeling a nice stretch here. Maybe you can even start to bend your elbows, getting a little bit deeper. Awesome. Unwind those hands now. Start to sink your hips down towards your heels. Reach your arms forward, finding child's pose. Rest your forehead to the mat. Settle back into your breath if you've lost it, breathing in and out through your nose only. And today you may like to adopt a breathwork practice called Ujjayi, which means victory breath. As you breathe in and out through your nose, can you feel a slight constriction at the back of your throat so that your breath makes a more audible quality, kind of sounding like the waves of the ocean lapping the shore. Take both your hands over towards the right hand side now, placing your left hand on top of your right. And see if you can feel a little more length down the left hand side of your body. Breathing into that space underneath your armpit all the way to your fingertips. And then taking your hands over to the other side, right hand on top of left, feeling that length down the right hand side of your body. Bring your hands forward again now, and let's rise all the way back up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under, hold your knees off the mat, feel the strength of your arms and your core, and then lifting all the way up and finding downward facing dog. And just take a moment here to move any way that feels good for you today in downward facing dog. Maybe that's pedaling your heels one at a time up and down. Maybe it's shifting your weight from side to side. And just taking a moment of Svadhyaya, self-study. Check in with how you feel today. Remember to take only from the practice what you need and move in a way that feels good for you. Let's find some stillness now in our downward facing dog. And you can bend your knees should you need to. On the goal of your downward dog to be finding a long line from your arms all the way up through your body to your tailbone. See if you can start to lift your hips up towards the sky and push really firmly through your arms. Almost like you're doing a handstand. You want those arms to be really pressing the mat away from you. See if you can straighten your legs only if possible. And hold here for 2 rounds of breath, in and out through your nose. Inhale and rise up high on your tippy toes, as high as you can. Exhale, bend your knees. Gaze forward, and with no breath, start to walk your feet all the way to the top end of your mat. Once you get there, grab a hold of your opposite elbows and with free breath, come into your ragdoll, so taking a gentle sway side to side over your legs. Let your head hang nice and heavy here. Let go of any tension in your shoulders. And then finding stillness, hanging over your legs here, start to drop your hands down towards the mat. We're going to find our halfway lift. Bring your hands to just below your knees on your shins. Inhale and lengthen your spine forwards. Try to find a flat back like a tabletop here. Drawing your shoulder blades back and towards each other. Take a nice deep inhale, lengthen your spine out nice and long. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs again. You can bend your knees as much as you need to in forward fold to try and get your chest to connect with your thighs. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to push through our feet to stand all the way up tall, reaching your arms all the way up above you, palms touch at the top. And then exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. Maybe close your eyes for a few moments and reconnect with our intention today, Svadhyaya, self-study. Inhale, reach your arms up high. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Let's take our halfway lift again. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, shoulders go back. And then exhale, hands reach the mat, bending your knees. From here, we're going to step back into a high plank, one foot at a time, finding a nice long line from the top of your head all the way down to your heels. And now let's drop our knees to the mat. We're going to learn Chaturanga Dandasana nice and slowly, which means half plank. I want you to wrap your elbows back towards your body. See if you can float your chest forward, so you'll feel a bit of a stretch through the forearms, just like we were working before. And then start to bend your elbows in by your waist, coming down halfway. Now the goal here is to find a 90-degree angle between your elbow, your wrist, and your shoulder. Let's press all the way back up. Now if you found that challenging, there's a little trick I love to do with the blocks. You're going to grab your blocks and line them up so that they face in towards each other and they're on their highest level. Place your hands behind the blocks so that your middle fingers line up with the center of the blocks, and then bring your chest forwards. From here, keep your elbows in nice and close by your waist, and you lower yourself down until your shoulders hit the blocks. Use your core, draw it in, and then press all the way back up again. So this is a really handy way of practicing your Chaturanga Dandasana with the blocks. Let's give it a go lift out if you're ready for it. Lower yourself down halfway. And now let's lower ourselves all the way down to our bellies. Untuck your toes so that the top of your feet hit the mat, and then lifting up into a baby cobra. Shoulder blades draw back, heart shines forwards. Exhale, lower yourself all the way back down. Inhale, lifting up one more time. And now exhale, push all the way back, finding child's pose, hips to heels. Pausing here for a nice deep breath. Inhale, float back up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, find downward facing dog. Now we're going to move through our sun salutation a little bit faster this time, bringing all of those poses together. Inhale, rise up high on your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze forwards. Walk your feet all the way up to the top end of your mat. Take a halfway lift when you get there as you inhale. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, standing up tall, palms touch. Exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up high. And exhale, forward fold over your legs. Halfway lift again as you inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat. Spread your fingers out wide, step your legs back one at a time, finding high plank. Either staying on your toes or lowering to your knees. Let's find our Chaturanga Dandasana half plank, elbows in by your waist. Lower yourself all the way down to your belly. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. And exhale, press back, child's pose. Let's move through this flow one more time. Inhale, float up onto all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up high on your tippy toes and bend your knees as you exhale. Gaze forwards, walk, or maybe this time you can do a little jump to the top end of your mat. Take a halfway lift when you get there. Inhale, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up tall, reaching up. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold. Hands to the mat, step or maybe float back to high plank. Take a nice deep breath in, drop your knees if you need to, low plank as you exhale. This time, option to come all the way forwards into upward facing dog instead of baby cobra if you like. So the tops of your feet push down into the mat, your knees are hovering off the mat and your heart is shining forwards. And then exhale, pressing all the way back, finding downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up high on your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze forward, step or float to the top. This time I want you to bring your big toes together so that they touch. Keep a little space between your heels, about an inch, and really squeeze your legs together. We're going to find Utkatasana, chair pose. I want you to bend your knees deeply, as much as you can. And then from here, can you bring your arms forwards and sink your hips down a little bit more. So it's kind of like a squat with your legs squeezing together. See if you can draw your belly in and find extra length through your lower back. And you've got an option here to reach your arms up high. Can you sink your hips down even lower? Hold and breathe. And when you feel challenged, can you simply focus on your breath? Next exhalation, forward fold down over your legs. From here, bend your knees. We're going to step our left leg back. So step your left leg back. Right foot stays connected with the earth. If you like, you've got the option here to drop your back knee down. Otherwise, keeping your back knee lifted, find an easy twist. So lifting your right arm up high to the side. Back knee down if you like. You can also always place a block underneath your bottom hand to create a little bit of extra space here. Really opening your chest up nice and wide. Feeling nice and expansive through the front of your chest, all the way up to your fingertips. Exhale, bring your arm down now. Take a little bend in your back knee. Lift it off the floor if it's on the floor. Push through your legs, finding crescent lunge. Reach both your arms up high and hold. So finding lots of strength in our legs now. Make sure that your front knee is strapping in line with your toes. And if possible, maybe you can start to straighten your back leg. Double check that your hips are square, pointing forwards towards the front end of your mat. So you may like to think of driving your right leg back and your left hip forwards. Take a nice deep breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to make our way into Warrior 2. You're going to lower your back heels to the mat. So your back foot is on a slight angle, your toes are pointing slightly forwards, and your front knee is tracking in line with your toes. Spread your arms out wide. And your drishti, your gaze, is forward over your front fingers. From here, flip your front palm. Inhale, find a reverse warrior. Back hand connects with your leg. Top arm reaches up and back. And then exhale, can you cartwheel your arms down either side of your front foot. Turn your back foot back into parallel. Bend into your back knee and step forwards. Let's find Utkatasana, chair pose again. Big toes touch, heels are slightly separated. Bend your knees deeply, reach your arms up or forwards. Sink your hips low. Find length for your lower back. Draw your belly in, ribs down and hold. And then forward fold over your legs. And this time step your right leg back. And find an easy twist to the other side. Remember the options, you can always drop your back knee, keep it lifted, hand on the block if you prefer, but really open up the chest here. From here, bring your left arm down, take a little bend in your back knee, push firmly through your legs, inhale, lifting up, crescent lunge. Maybe start to straighten your back leg long. Think of driving your left hip back and your right hip forwards here. Take a nice deep breath in, and then open up, finding Warrior 2. Back heel connects with the mat. Front knee in line with your toes. Spread your arms out nice and wide. Flip your front palm and reverse warrior. So reaching the top arm up and back. Stay low in your front knee. And then exhale, cartwheel your arms down either side of your front foot. This time we're going to push firmly through our arms and step back and you find a downward facing dog. From here, rise up high on your tippy toes, around the spine like you're doing the angry cat, and float all the way forwards, finding high plank. Either on your toes or on your knees, can you find a low plank now, Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows in. Coming through to either baby cobra with your belly on the floor or upward facing dog. And then exhale, pressing all the way back into child's pose. Can you soften a little bit here now? Start to drop your elbows down to the mat. Let go of any tension. And reconnect with your breath if you've lost it. Remember that Ujjayi breath, a slight audible quality to your breath here today. Very slowly now, we're going to make our way to sit on our bottom. I want you to take your feet out in front of you. Feet will be hip distance apart, hands behind your knees. Sit up nice and tall. And then slowly see if you can lean back until your arms are straight. And today I want you to keep a really long spine. So instead of finding a C curve position, can you keep your heart lifted and your spine nice and long? See if you can take your arms away here and hold. An option to advance, you can bring your legs up, finding boat pose. Holding here now, see if you can find a little bit of extra length through your spine. And then slowly lower yourself all the way down to your back. From here, bending your knees, bring your feet really close to your bottom. So see if you can get your heels nice and close to your bottom. We're going to push down through our feet, lift your hips up high, and see if you can find a little bit of a back bend here today. Finding length through the front of your hips. And then maybe you can interlace your hands underneath you. See if you can wiggle your shoulder blades a little bit closer towards each other. Push your hands down towards the floor and lift your hips up high. If this is a bit too intense, you can always use your hands for a little bit of support here. Just finding a back bend that works for you. Hold and breathe. And then when you're ready, release your bind if you've got it, and slowly peel all the way back down through your spine. Hug your knees into your chest. And then finding happy baby, grab a hold of the outer edges of your feet and see if you can draw your knees towards your armpits. Lengthen your spine out nice and long on the back here, and maybe even take a gentle sway from side to side if that feels good to you. Option to maybe straighten one leg and then the other. Maybe even straighten both legs. And doing any final movements that you would like to before finding corpse pose Shavasana. Extending your legs out in front of you, palms face up towards the sky, and maybe even closing down your eyes. In these moments of stillness, yoga doesn't stop. See what you can learn about yourself, even when you're not engaged in yoga asana poses. In these moments of stillness, yoga doesn't end. See what you can learn about yourself here, even when you're not engaged in yoga poses, yoga asana. Perhaps take a scan through your body. Bring awareness to different body parts from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Just notice if you're holding tension anywhere that's not necessary, and gently release and relax. Feel free to remain here in Shavasana for as long as you like. If you need to move on with your day, give your fingers and your toes a little wiggle. Take a more energizing breath in through your nose. And maybe sigh it out through your mouth. One more time, in through the nose, out through your mouth, and then just slowly rolling over onto one side, pausing there for a moment. And when you're ready, making your way up into a seated position. Once you get there, inhale, reach your arms all the way up above you. Arms tucked at the top. Exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. The light in me recognizes and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed our practice.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love our health and fitness program. It's a holistic, fuss-free lifestyle with daily coach workouts, family-friendly meal plans, and practical mindfulness. Head to mytxo.com to sign up today.